Hi everyone, David here. Cutting right to the chase, California has recently just announced new harsh punishment for street takeovers. So they're cracking down this time. Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna touch base on what the punishments are and if this will actually do anything to stop it. Spoiler alert, I don't really think so. As somebody who loves cars, loves car culture, and the community it brought me over the years, I think takeovers is the easiest low-hanging fruit to criticize the car community. And let's have a quick recap why that is. 1, they make you look like an idiot. 2, they make the entire car culture and the car scene look terrible, especially to normies who have no idea what it's all about. 3, you are ruining everybody's day in that city by blocking an intersection, including maybe an ambulance or an emergency vehicle, which really needs to get somewhere. That's what those sirens are for, you know, if you're trying to go through the intersection. And that's why everybody else in the car community makes fun of you. And then you rage in comment sections trying to legitimize how cool they are and how great they are, when at the end of the day, you just want attention. We all know that. All right, I've said that enough times. Let's move on. So I first saw this update by my good friend Garrett's Instagram account, American Muscle HD. If you don't know Garrett, highly recommend you go follow him. He's a phenomenal dude and a really great friend of mine. And he posted this saying, hey, update about California. Here's what's going on. California street takeover ban on July 1st. Driver license suspension for violations. Say goodbye to your license and your car after July 1st. In Cali, that is. And the poll does not lie. Everybody is for this. They're like, go ahead. Just let them have it, dude. And then Johnny Lieberman from Motor Trend commented, define takeover. Which Garrett threw back, no, that's a valid question because cops will break up a civilized car meet and classify it as such. Okay, I do understand that side of the argument here, but we really know what a takeover is. People doing donuts in an intersection, getting attention, flashing green lasers at helicopters. Then they wonder why they get in trouble afterwards. That's a takeover. And Garrett followed this up with, they will suspend your license ranging from 90 days to 6 months. Drivers can get up to 6 months in jail and up to a $5,000 fine. Spectators can be fined $1,000 and organizers can be hit with a felony charge. So obviously I did a little bit of digging. I went online to see if there was any valid reports of this, and there is. It seems like it is the real deal. And then I went on Google and I verified all the things that were in the Google AI as well. This is the spark notes of the situation. All right, so several new laws will take effect on July 1st, 2025, impacting areas like street takeovers, online marketplaces, and consumer protections. Good luck with that one. Street takeovers and speed contests increase penalties. California is implementing broader penalties for illegal street takeovers and sideshows, including getting your car impounded for participant and spectators, and potential license suspension for those involved. Kind of goes on about expanding the definition of a sideshow or a takeover, but then they go into aiding and abetting, which individuals who organize, facilitate, or instigate a sideshow can be charged with aiding or abetting, even if they're not physically present at the event. So if they do everything online and basically organize it for somebody else, that can be a problem. Really interesting stuff. Then the rest of it is more so about stolen goods and that kind of thing, which we'll talk about a little bit. Now, here's the deal. I talked about something like this last year, all about when Florida implemented some harsher laws for takeovers and such things, right? But I don't live in Florida, and I don't know how much it's curbed kind of the takeover crime, if that makes sense. And I don't have any definite proof that it's made an effect on anything, at least in Florida. However, if I was a betting man on who would enforce laws better, I don't think it's a secret on who would probably do a better job. I know here in Georgia that the threat of GSP coming after you and immediately pit maneuvering you has probably made an effect here in this state. But especially because we have a chase law here in Georgia. If you run from the police and GSP, they are coming to get you. So if you do a takeover and you run away, they're not stopping. They're not gonna let you go. How do I say this? How do I say this? Regardless of what things are represented politically, or how things are enforced politically, or what you believe in, and what governments you believe in, local, state, whatever, that's not what I'm about to say. Due to the recent events that have happened in California, they've shown that they can't, well, enforce anything. But I'm more so talking about, say, downtown Los Angeles. I think it's more of a symbolic victory for the court of law and the local government to be like, yeah, we're totally gonna get those takeovers off the street. Meanwhile, you can't even stop somebody for shoplifting half the time. So my point of saying this statement is that if they can't even do petty theft crimes and arrest people for that and they get out of jail in a day, the last thing they're gonna be worried about is street takeovers. Very objective, little pessimistic point of view, to be honest, and especially in person. In 2020, I was in LA for a job at the height of lockdown, right? And as I'm walking down the street, I saw somebody go into a Walgreens, grab 4 things, put it in a bag, and just walk out with no repercussions. And I went up to the Walgreens employee and I was like, what, are you not gonna call the police? They're like, we can't do anything. This also applies to crimes that might not be seen as serious, right? Like a takeover, or it's just like, they're just boys being boys or kids being kids. Meanwhile, over here, you have the John Wick of GSP stopping a truck, you know? The reason I'm bringing all this up is almost a thought experiment, and I kind of want to open this part up of the video to discussion down below. Like, what do you think? Especially my California locals who are watching, do you think there'll be an enforcement? As somebody from the East Coast, of course, I probably have a little bit of bias. From your point of view, do you think that they're gonna make any difference at all with these laws? I'm curious. If you don't have any fear of consequences, you're just gonna keep doing the thing, right? Regardless of what the crime is, you're just gonna keep doing it. From shoplifting to doing donuts at an intersection. And almost all the comments on the Instagram posts are just clowning on this. Instead of like hopping and cheering for this going into effect, everyone's basically saying it's not gonna make a difference because they don't enforce anything. Plot twist, they don't own the cars. This will make it stop. They should also make it illegal to break the law. So they are going to take an already illegal thing and make it more illegaler. But there is this repetitive theme of people scared of them taking advantage of this law and just calling everything a takeover, which you could see happening. They're just gonna call any car meet or takeover. They're just gonna try to destroy the car scene in California. Isn't it crazy to think that California, like, was the car scene? It was the place to be for cars, you know, rust-free old cars, everything else. Of course, there's still a force to be reckoned with the car scene in California, but it is much easier to be a car enthusiast almost anywhere else in this country now. The state which car modifications and admiration of cars was born. I find that very true. But like I said earlier, what do you think about all this? Do you think it's gonna make an effect? Do you think it even matters that they even put these laws into effect? Is it gonna stop anybody? I'm a little more pessimistic on this one, I'll be completely honest with you. I want the laws to work, but only time will find out, right? And statistics will probably be so muddled and messy with these kind of things. So just wanted to talk about this quickly today because it's kind of on the opposite side of things, right? The first time I talked about this, we were like, yeah. This time I'm like, is it even gonna make a difference? Put your opinion in the comment section below. And on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys later.